Oh, hello. It's Tuesday tip time. What's going on, everybody? I'm Carey Peters. I'm here for another edition of Tuesday Tips, my favorite time of the week when I get to connect with you and we all get to give each other hugs. And today's mug, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to talk about feeling like quitting, is one of my faves. I found it at my favorite little shop near me, and it says, I'm suffering from an extreme case of not being Beyonce. Anyone else? There are days when I'm like so tired and having such a difficult time, and definitely today was crazy, and maybe it is for you, but I always think to myself, Beyonce was up at 6 a.m. this morning and she's been dancing for 8 hours and she has 3 children. Beyonce could do it. Buckle up. And if you're just joining me for Tuesday Tips, welcome, welcome. I'd love to write into the chat. Let me know if you're here and where you are tuning in from. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, especially if you're feeling like you're not so sure today about life, about your career, about your dreams, about having the life you desire, about having financial freedom or money or any of these things that we want, but sometimes feel like they're just not near. They're just not near. They're far away. And that's when we start suffering an extreme case of not being Beyonce. So sad. So I want to talk today about what do you do when you feel like quitting. By the way, hello, everyone who's joining. I love seeing you write in. Hey, Jenny and April, Pamela, Carolyn, Mag, what's up? Samantha, Beth. Thank you for being here live. Some of you, this might be your first time here live, so it is a pleasure to be with you. And we're talking today about what to do when you feel like quitting. And this is up for me because, man, it's been a stressful time. I've had my daughter out of school. I moved back home into working from home. I had this new office, but with a 2-year-old crying all day and a switch in nannies and a change of all these things happening at once make me just want to drop my head to the table and go, I quit. I can't do it. So is anyone else feeling, go ahead and type into the chat if you're feeling like quitting today or just giving up or you've just had enough. It's all too much. Go ahead and type into the chat and let me know if it's one of those days for you. And I think one of the reasons we feel like quitting, and by the way, when I first started my coaching practice, I wanted to quit every 10 minutes. I mean, for sure. Because there were two things that really drove the desire to quit. And these might be the two things that are driving your desire to quit too. And that is, one, I can't do this. I'm not capable. I can't figure everything out. I'll never be able to do it. I'll never be able to be capable. And two, it'll never work for me. Those are the two things, right? One, I can't figure it out. And two, it'll never work for me. And that when I have those beliefs running, and if you have those beliefs running, then what can end up happening is we start to express that as, I'm so tired. I'm so overwhelmed. Nothing I'm doing is working. We come up with a lot of great sort of valid reasons. Physical aches. I'm seeing like Carolyn saying a horrible headache today. Yes, I just want to go home and sleep. Yes, I'm seeing, oh, great. Mag saying my physical body's expressing this. So we have these experiences that manifest from the beliefs of somehow I can't do it or it'll never happen for me. And so what we want to do today is turn that around with a really simple process that I want to walk you through. If you're up for it, and if you're here at Tuesday Tips, I'm guessing you are. So this is one of my favorite things to do. And it's a little on the metaphysical tip in that if we think about time, and if we consider maybe there is no time, just for a moment, if you'd be willing to play with me for a minute, go, perhaps there's no time. Then it's possible, if everything's happening sort of spontaneously because time doesn't exist, whether you agree or not, doesn't matter really. But the essence of this is to think about the idea that a version of you having the outcome you want already exists. And to let that settle in for a moment. So whatever it is that you're wanting, whether it's a certain amount of money per month or a certain amount of clients or becoming a coach, starting a new career, or if maybe you want a romantic relationship, what is the thing for you? Actually, go ahead and share in the chat if you like. What is the thing for you that you want so badly but feels really far away, so far away that you'll never get there? And you go, I'll never figure it out. I can't do it. So whatever that thing is, you want to imagine that there's a version of you that has that already exists. For me, I'm sort of bewildered by how to manage a household with a child and a spouse, and I just can't figure it out. It was very difficult for me. I'm sort of like an absent-minded professor. I'm very good at work and not very good in any other environment. So I try to imagine a version of me and my experience where my household is running so smoothly and everything's just very easy. I walk in my door and it's like, oh, relaxing and nice. And when I imagine that, it's just my whole nervous system like calms down. Like this already exists. It's going to happen. I'm on my way toward it. I don't necessarily know every step of the way, but I know that I'm going to be drawn to that outcome because that's the outcome I want. So go ahead and for a moment, whatever it is, so Lucy, for example, supporting yourself and your son financially, being independent, and just imagining that's already happening. There's a version of that that's happening. That outcome is assured. You're being drawn to it. You don't need to know how, but it's already happening. Right? Katie, paying off never-ending medical bills. So imagining that there's a version of you that exists right now where all those medical bills are paid off. It's done. And when you imagine that, how does that feel in your body? It's already done. So the way that we can release the angst of the desire for the outcome that we want is by owning that there's a version of us where it already exists. We don't have to worry about how we get there. We don't have to worry about all that. Just for the moment, knowing there's that version. So when you know that that version of you exists, you can put down the worry about the future and be in the present right now. I remember when I worried about ever having a relationship that I was happy with, and I remember feeling the same way, like imagining there's a version of me in the future. I have this relationship. I'm delighted. It's wonderful. And just imagining that calms the nervous system. Now, once you've done that, Sherry's saying, I'm picturing it done. What a feeling, peace. Yes. So once you've done that, the next step is to let that peace settle in and then bring your attention to the right here, right now. I remember when my daughter was very little, newborn, I had a very wise friend, Beth, who said to me, this isn't one day at a time, it's 1 minute at a time with the baby. So bringing your attention to right here, right now, this minute, this moment, and letting it sink in that you have what it takes to handle anything today and anything in this moment when we let go of the need to look into the future or get aggro over the past. We just get to be in the peace of this moment. And the way to install that in is to do this quick exercise. And this is something that you can take your clients through, especially when your client is on the verge of quitting, they're super frustrated. Once you've gotten them to a place where they have in mind the future version of themselves with the outcome already done, assured, they're in a peaceful place, then you have them look around and look at exactly what do you see in front of you. What do you see right now? I see my computer, I see my lamp, I see my mirror, I see my couch, I see my pillow, I see my phone, I see my microphone. And then we go into what do you smell right now? And I smell my house. You know how houses have a smell? And I smell my hairspray. And the reason we do this with the senses is that helps people get out of their head and back into their body by connecting in what's my sensory experience right this very moment. So what do you see right now? What do you smell right now? Then you'll ask, what do you hear right now? Right now I hear my computer sort of softly whirring. I hear birds chirping outside. I hear the tick-tick of the clock back there on my table. And then you would ask, what do you feel right now on your body? And I feel my yoga pants that I'm wearing under my shirt. It's not fancy pants that I have on, ladies and gentlemen. It's yoga pants. That's the beauty of video, because we can stand up. You see I don't think you can see the pants. But anyways, I feel them. I feel the rings on my fingers. I feel the bracelet on my wrist. I feel the hair on my shoulders. And that all of these sensory experiences ground us into our bodies, take us out of our heads and out of that panic mode. And now let's take it a step further in this exercise. And again, you can do all of this with clients. This is the third part of the exercise, where once you've sort of grounded into all the sensory experience, then you want to imagine the space around you. Literally, like if you could imagine the atoms all around your body, because we're surrounded at all times by atoms. And if you can imagine in that space around you, you've settled into your sensory experience, and now the atoms around you start giving you an energetic hug. You feel the space around you come alive and just hold you. And allow yourself to let that settle. To know that the space around you can hold you and you can be in your body. So great job. You can feel free to type into the chat if you've walked through this 3-part exercise. The first part being imagining the future version of you with the outcome done already. And then using your senses to ground in. What do you see, smell, hear, feel right now? And now the third piece is the space around you, the atoms, literally giving you an energetic hug and holding you. This is a fast way to help switch ourselves quickly out of the limiting beliefs of, I can't, it'll never happen for me, and then therefore I feel like quitting, into a place of what's true, which is peace, contentment, that everything in this moment is okay. And that when we feel like quitting, the truth is what we really need is comfort. And the way that we get comfort is by getting back into our bodies and then caring for ourselves. So one of the things that you could do, and by the way, you can tag somebody in these videos who's feeling like quitting today or giving up. One of the things that we can do as you go away from this video, my action step for you or challenge is to give yourself some physical comfort today. Something that like cuddles your guts, you know, like the center of your soul, where we just need that warm liquid comfort. Maybe that's drinking warm tea or having a hot soup. Now, of course, you might be in a hot environment, in which case you might just go outside. But if you're in a cooler environment, a hot water bottle on your belly, you might cuddle in with a blanket. You might take a nap for a little bit. You might take a slow walk outside in the sun or lay on a lounge chair and let the sun replenish you. Another great way to give yourself physical comfort is hugs. Someone who you really like to hug. To hug you today, whether it's a friend or a romantic partner. One of the things that I love most, we have lots of traditions at HCI Live, and that's our live training in case you have not been. If you have been, you can shout out in the comments. But one of the traditions that I love there when we get together live is we do something called heart hugs. And that is that when you go to hug somebody, usually we hug on the right, you know, we hug to the right, but at HCI Live, we hug to the left because then our hearts are connected. And that's a way to really just sort of warm ourselves and to get out of our heads, get out of worry, get into connection with our bodies and with other people. And if you're thinking ever, if you are curious about coming to an HCI Live and experiencing that, you can see there'll be a link in the comments below where you can learn more. We have one coming up in Austin, Texas, where I think it's going to be very warm. But we're going to be in Austin November 9th through the 11th, so you can check that out. And I'm curious for you as we're completing today. First of all, thank you so much for your patience with the technical issue and spreading this out between two videos. Well, we could just say that Tuesday Tips is twice as nice today. But I'm curious what you're taking away from this video today, this exercise, and if this is something that's useful for you, and moreover, is this something that you would use with a client? I personally love to have a bag of sort of tools and strategies and tips and tricks to be able to pull out with the client at any moment to help them change their state. And this is one of those things. I know I feel significantly better. I don't necessarily feel like I'm suffering an extreme case of not being Beyonce right now, even though I still like the mug. It's a great mug. I'll keep it, but I feel a lot better. I hope you all feel a lot better. Let me know in the chat if this has sort of restored some peace in your heart today. And I want to thank you so much for tuning into Tuesday Tips. Go ahead and tag somebody if you think that they're feeling like they might need to just give up or quit today, so we can share the love and hopefully share this message about how to turn that around and just be in the moment. We don't have to worry about tomorrow. We don't have to worry about yesterday. When you're on the verge of quitting, focus on right now. And I hope the tips that I've given you today will help you do that. Love you guys. Have a wonderful week. I will see you on the next Tuesday Tips. Ciao, everyone.